Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 9 Part 4 based on novel. So let's start. Flashes of cold light shot backwards in an extremely violent manner. After which, they heavily smashed against the invisible mental energy barrier. The light seemed to have landed into a quagmire as their speed slowed. In the end, they completely stopped in midair, before powerlessly falling downwards. However, the numerous gazes did not pay any attention to this. Instead, they were locked onto the exploded carriage where a relatively powerful aura was spreading. A wild and violent energy ripple slowly dissipated. After which, everyone saw a skinny figure appearing in their sights. Lin Dong. Joy quickly surfaced on Ji Yu Yang and the rest's faces when they saw that Lin Dong was fine. Disturbing others' cultivation for no reason, isn't your upbringing a little poor? Lin Dong lifted his head. His eyes looked towards Wei Song on the nearby tree branch as he smiled and said. Wei Song slightly narrowed his eyes. His sharp gaze locked onto Lin Dong. He immediately frowned slightly and spoke in a faint voice, 9 Yuan Nirvana stage. Brother Shu, are you certain that he is the hidden expert in the Ji clan convoy? The black-robed man beside Wei Song stared at Lin Dong. Those deep eyes of his scanned every inch of Lin Dong's body. After which, he slowly nodded and said, this brat is not simple. You should not underestimate him. Is that so? I am really curious to find out just how extraordinary a 9 Yuan Nirvana stage brat can be. Wei Song's mouth parted to form a grin. 9 Yuan Nirvana stage? He has only reached this level after recovering his strength. Wei Song was not the only one present who felt doubtful because of Lin Dong's strength. Even some members of the Ji clan were frowning as they stared at Lin Dong. Earlier, Lin Dong had spoken with such confidence, causing them to believe that he would at the very least reach a level similar to Ji Yang once he recovered his full strength. However, from the present situation, it seemed like Lin Dong had only just advanced to 9 Yuan Nirvana stage. With such strength, could he fight against a divine symbol master? Some of the Ji clan members looked at each other. Although they did not say anything, it was obvious that their hearts were filled with doubt. After all, there was a great difference in Lin Dong's strength and the words that he had spoken. The 10,000 Shen Yuan pills seemed to have been wasted. This guy. Ji Ying quietly clenched her teeth, while her heart was filled with anger. However, after having experienced Lin Dong's ruthlessness from before, she did not dare to utter any harsh words. All she could do was throw her eyes towards Ji Yang and softly say, Elder Sister Ji Yang. Ji Yang's eyes stared at Lin Dong. The latter's expression was still like a rippleless well. There was no change at all in his face due to the current situation. Her teeth gently bit into her lips. A moment later, she shook her head and said, let's observe first. There is no need to come to an early conclusion. Ji Ying could only nod her head when she heard this. Currently, the Shen Yuan pills had already been used by Lin Dong. They could only hope that this person could really be of some help. Lin Dong stood there. He had naturally seen those many gazes containing different states of mind around him. However, he did not say anything. His eyes swept once around him, before pausing on Ji Yu's somewhat pale little face. His expression quickly darkened. What happened? Ji Yu wiped the corner of her mouth. She timidly shook her head and softly said, Big brother Lin Dong, I am fine. He is the one who did it. Ji Ying extended her hand at this moment. She pointed towards Lu Jian and said. Lin Dong's gaze shifted, and locked onto the blue-clothed Lu Jian. Immediately, a cold aura seeped out from those eyes of his. Was it you who did this? Lu Jian knitted his brows. After which, he turned his head and looked towards Wei Song. The latter nodded towards him. Immediately, Lu Jian laughed coldly. Where has this ill-mannered brat come from? This matter is none of your business, and you should not meddle in other people's business. Otherwise, you won't even have the chance to regret it. Lu Jian's strength was at the peak of the 9 Yuan Nirvana stage. he could be considered to be a little stronger than Lin Dong. This was also where his confidence came from. Moreover, there was Wei Song supporting him from behind. He naturally held no regard for Lin Dong when he spoke. Lin Dong slightly narrowed his eyes. He seemed to smile for a moment, before he lifted his foot and walked towards Lu Jian under the attention of numerous watching gazes. The surrounding members of the Jiu clan quickly gave way when they saw Lin Dong's actions. They were really curious what Lin Dong, who seemed to have only reached the 9 Yuan Nirvana stage, could do to Lu Jian, who was at the peak of 9 Yuan Nirvana stage. Lu Jian, since there is someone who is challenging your Sword Heart Island young master's prestige, there is no need for you to hold back. Wei Song laughed faintly from nearby. Of course. The corners of Lu Jian's mouth slowly lifted into an evil grin. His 2 fingers curled and majestic Yuan power suddenly swept out. A 12 feet long sharp sword aura immediately tore through the air and ferociously hacked down onto Lin Dong. However, Lin Dong's footsteps did not pause in the face of Lu Jian's sharp sword aura. He merely extended his hand and grabbed at the sword aura, which was slashing at him. You are courting death. A sneer flashed across Lu Jian's eyes when he saw this. Even a peak 9 Yuan Nirvana stage expert would not dare to use his physical body to receive this attack. Lin Dong's actions were undoubtedly suicidal. Bang! The sword aura had already hacked onto Lin Dong's hand, while the sneer flashed across Lu Jian's eyes. However, the expected scene of fresh blood splattering did not appear. Lin Dong's hand was just like an iron pincer that firmly grabbed onto the sword aura, which was hacking downwards. After which, he suddenly clenched his hand. Crack! A clear sound spread within the forest. That sharp sword aura was directly shattered by Lin Dong's bare hand. How is this possible? The sneer on Lu Jian's face suddenly stiffened. Lin Dong lifted his head. His eyes were indifferent as they glanced at Lu Jian. Subsequently, he took another step forward. An afterimage remained behind, while his body had turned into a flash of light that charged directly at Lu Jian like galloping thunder. How swift! Lu Jian's eyes trembled with fear, as his body hurriedly pulled back. At the same time, he clenched his hand, and a sharp longsword appeared in a flash. After which, the sword pierced forward. Its sharp sword aura whistled out gracefully. The flash of light arrived in an instant. His hand tightened into a fist in the face of Lu Jian's sharp sword aura, as green light immediately erupted, and a faint dragon roar resounded across the area. Boom! A green dragon-like fist took shape on Lin Dong's fist. This fist was subsequently thrown forward without any fanciness. However, it contained a frightening strength that could push a mountain. Bang bang bang! The sharp sword aura collapsed almost instantly upon contact with the green dragon fist. Lu Jian's attack was unable to withstand even a single blow. Bang! With the collapse of the sword aura, the green dragon fist landed on Lu Jian's body at lightning speed in front of Lu Jian's shocked eyes, as an unusually low and deep muffled sound appeared. Wild and violent energy poured onto Lu Jian's body. His expression instantly turned pale, and a mouthful of fresh blood was spat out in an uncontrollable fashion. His body was like a cannonball as it flew backwards. Upon seeing this, those members of the Sword Heart Island behind Lu Jian hurriedly moved to stop him. However, bone-cracking sounds were emitted from their arms the moment they touched Lu Jian's body, and their bodies were also sent flying. Bang bang! Lu Jian and the rest finally landed on the ground in a miserable manner. A thunderous sound appeared, causing the hearts of many to throb, as grave expressions started to appear in their eyes. Some of the experts, who were not paying attention to this, also began to reveal a solemn look in their eyes. Many gazes gathered on the skinny young man. With just a single strike, he had defeated Lu Jian, whose strength had reached the peak of the 9 Yuan Nirvana stage. It was likely that less than 10 people here could do this. Moreover, everyone could tell that Lin Dong had merely used his physical power previously. Just how strong would his destructive power be if Yuan power was to be activated along with it? The members of the Jiu clan were flabbergasted as they watched this scene. Jiu Ying swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Her eyes no longer dared to possess even the slightest doubt when they looked at Lin Dong, sending Liu Jian, who was at the peak of the 9 yuan nirvana stage, flying with one punch. Who dared to underestimate him? At this moment, it was likely that not a single member of the Jiyu clan would think that their 10,000 Shen Yuan pills had been wasted. Jiyu Yang quietly sighed in relief within her heart. Although Lin Dong's words were a little arrogant, he did indeed possess the strength to back them up. In this way, they had indeed found a rather good helper this time around. Lin Dong indifferently glanced at the extremely miserable Liu Jian in the distance. After which, he lifted his head. His eyes looked towards Wei Song a short distance away as he grinned. The latter's expression was a little gloomy. Helping others ward off disaster after accepting payment from them. I am definitely getting involved in this matter. After Lin Dong uttered these words, everyone could feel the atmosphere at the foot of the mountain suddenly become much tenser, while a stern expression faintly flitted across Wei Song's face. Longsword in hand, Jiyu Yang stood beside Lin Dong, while the other members of the Jiyu clan also crowded around them. They stared at the members of the Wei clan with gazes that said they would not give in. It appeared as though they would engage in an all-out fight if there was any disagreement. A dark and solemn expression surged in Wei Song's eyes as he watched this scene. However, he gave a smile a moment later. He softly clapped his hands together while his gaze paused on Lin Dong. "Ha ha, you are really bold. However, I'm afraid that you do not have the qualifications or ability to get involved in certain matters. I do not know you. It is likely that my Wei clan does not have any great enmity with you. My Wei clan is always charitable towards friends, however, an enemy of my Wei clan will likely never be able to sleep in peace." Lin Dong looked at the smiling Wei Song. He also grinned and replied, "I'm afraid that these words do not have much of an effect towards me." Currently, he was all alone, and did not have any worries. Even though this Wei clan was powerful, the chaotic demon sea was extremely vast. The hands of the Wei clan could not possibly completely cover it. In any case, if he could not defeat them, the Wei clan would not be able to stop him if he wished to flee. I hope so as well. Wei Song smiled. However, a dark chill seemed to gather within his smile. He glanced at the foot of the mountain. There were many experts who had heard the news and come this time around. This caused him to be a little apprehensive. After all, they had yet to see the life mysterious spirit fruit. It was clearly unwise to spend the effort fighting the Jiyu clan at this time. "Let's go." Wei Song withdrew his gaze. He waved his hand, turned around and left. The black-robed person beside Wei Song stared at Lin Dong. He slowly lifted his head, revealing a pale face under the black robe. An icy arc lifted on his lips, as he extended his hand and made a grabbing motion towards Lin Dong, before turning around and leaving. "Brother Shu, do not allow that brat to leave Mysterious Spirit Island alive." Wei Song turned around and rushed out. His expression was extremely dark as he spoke in an eerie voice. "Ha ha, I have said before that I will refine him into a human puppet," the black-robed person laughed. His laughter was as sinister as a ghost, causing one's hair to stand. Wei Song nodded. Ferocity and cruelness flashed in the depths of his eyes. Clearly, this provocation by Lin Dong had caused him to feel extremely furious. "You have really offended Wei Song this time around." Jiyu Yang watched Wei Song's group turn and leave. After which, she tilted her head and looked at Lin Dong beside her and said, "Since I have accepted your payment, I will naturally state my stance." Lin Dong laughed. This Wei Song was clearly not a magnanimous person. Even if Lin Dong did not offend him now, Wei Song would still feel hatred towards him when they clashed. Since this was the case, there was no point in hiding. "Are your wounds completely healed?" Jiyu Yang's eyes scanned Lin Dong's body as she asked. "Yes." Lin Dong gently clenched both of his fists, as he felt the power within his body that was even mightier than it was before. The corners of his mouth lifted to form a satisfied smile. Although he had suffered serious injuries this time around, he had also managed to benefit greatly. If the current him was to use all of his strength, even an initial profound life stage expert would not gain any advantage against him. If Lin Dong possessed such strength when fighting Yuan Kang back then, it was likely that the battle would not end in such a miserable manner. You are at the 9 Yuan Nirvana stage, but you possess such overwhelming battle power. Even I sense a trace of danger from you. It seems that your claim of being able to stop a divine symbol master was not just empty words. Ji Yu Yang had a slightly peculiar look in her eyes. She never imagined that the seemingly inconspicuous Lin Dong from a few days ago would actually become such an important character on their side. Lin Dong declined to comment. He did not wish to speak any further on this topic. Instead, his eyes swept across the foot of the mountain as they hardened. He softly said, "Quite a number of experts have come." He was able to sense many powerful auras at the foot of the mountain. Some of them were actually not the least bit weaker than Ji Yu Yang. Yes. Ji Yu Yang's somewhat icy face revealed a solemn expression. Her eyes looked towards a couple of spots at the foot of the mountain, as she involuntarily knitted her eyebrows. "Do you see that group in the northwestern direction?" Lin Dong's gaze followed her direction. He could see a group of people standing in the distance. A tall and large man was standing at the leader's spot. The man was wearing long robes. There were a sea of blue clouds on his robes. They are from the Sea Cloud sect. The one leading them is called Han Dao, and he is the most outstanding person amongst the younger generation in the Sea Cloud sect. His strength has also reached the half-step into profound life stage. Ji Yu Yang said. Lin Dong nodded slightly. He knew quite a bit about the Heaven Wind Sea region. Although the strongest within this Heaven Sea region were the 2 caves and 5 big clans, this Sea Cloud sect was also considered a powerful faction in this Heaven Wind Sea region. Its strength was not weaker than the 5 big clans. However, its foundation was a little lacking. On the southwestern side, there is another person who is a little troublesome to deal with. Lin Dong's eyes turned towards the southwestern direction, where a grey-clothed person quietly sat on a boulder. There were no signs of anyone else around him. Evidently, he was alone. However, this Lone Ranger was clearly not an ordinary person, given that he dared to come to this place alone for the life mysterious spirit fruit. Ji Yu Yang looked at the grey-clothed person. Her eyes were a little graver as she said, "He is one-arm Mo Zhon. He has not joined any factions, but he has quite the reputation in Heaven Wind Sea region. He is also half a foot into the profound life stage. It is rumored that he had once fought an initial profound life stage expert. Not only did he manage to successfully escape, but he even injured that other party." Oh! Surprise flashed across Lin Dong's eyes after hearing this. His eyes swept towards that grey-clothed person, and discovered that one of his sleeves was empty. "It seems that this person also possesses some skill," Lin Dong muttered to himself. He specialized in fighting someone at a higher cultivation level. Hence, he also clearly understood what was required to do so. Since this grey-clothed person was able to achieve this, he definitely had some tricks hidden up his sleeves. As expected of the chaotic demon sea. Such a person would definitely be an extremely dazzling existence amongst the younger generation in the Eastern Xian region. However, he could only be considered outstanding here. Lin Dong was quietly speechless. This Heaven Wind Sea region was not the strongest sea region in the chaotic demon sea. However, the experts that had appeared were already this troublesome to deal with. He wondered just what kind of monsters would appear in other places. While Lin Dong was observing the grey-clothed person in the distance, the latter also seemed to have sensed him. Immediately, his gaze shifted over. A brilliant light flitted across his eyes. That sharpness seemed to tear through the air and shoot straight at Lin Dong. Lin Dong looked directly at the grey-clothed person. There was no fear on his face. The latter might be quite well known, but it did not mean much to him. This person was able to injure an initial profound life stage expert and successfully escape, but Lin Dong had truly killed an initial profound life stage expert before. Killing and injuring were on 2 completely different levels. The grey-clothed person's sharp eyes stared at Lin Dong. It was a long while later before the sharpness gradually diminished. He took one last deep look at Lin Dong, before slowly turning around. Ji Yu Yang by the side saw the face-off between the two. Her heart held an even higher regard for Lin Dong after seeing the latter's calm manner. She subsequently continued, "There are still some troublesome fellows over there. From the Black Dragon images on their bodies, they should be from the Black Dragon pirates that run rampant in this Heaven-Wind Sea region. However, from the looks of it, only 4 of them have managed to come. The strength of those 4 is at the peak of the 9 Yuan Nirvana stage. If they were to join hands, they will be able to fight against even someone at the half a foot into profound life stage." Lin Dong's gaze shifted once again. Sure enough, he saw a group of red-clothed individuals in the distance. Their clothes had black dragon drawings on them. In front of that group were 4 fierce-looking men. There was a kind of rich murderous aura vaguely spreading from them. Clearly, they were ruthless individuals whose hands were dyed with the blood of many. This life mysterious spirit fruit had clearly attracted many truly troublesome individuals. It was likely that the subsequent fight would be a little interesting. A poisonous fog covers Mysterious Spirit Mountain. Hence, we must wait until noon before we can enter. Once we step into Mysterious Spirit Mountain, the fight to obtain the life Mysterious Spirit Fruit will begin. Ji Yu Yang gazed at the towering mountain and spoke in a grave manner. Lin Dong nodded slightly. Without further ado, he withdrew his gaze and looked towards Ji Yu's injuries, before quietly waiting for the time to come. Although there were many people at the foot of the mountain, it was currently exceptionally quiet. Only those many gazes that were being thrown towards Mysterious Spirit Mountain became increasingly heated as time passed. While the crowd silently waited, the scorching sun in the sky climbed to its peak. Hot sunlight scattered onto Mysterious Spirit Mountain, and the poisonous fog that covered it began to quickly disappear. Bang! Rushing wind sounds suddenly exploded from the quiet foot of the mountain the moment the poison fog covering the entire mountain completely disappeared. Many figures charged into the enormous Mysterious Spirit Mountain like a swarm of locusts. The fight for the life Mysterious Spirit Fruit had officially begun. The sound of wind being split apart suddenly sounded in the mountain forest, which was still covered by a thin layer of poisonous fog. Numerous figures shot into it like arrows, before swiftly rushing towards the top of the huge mountain. There are really many people. Lin Dong's toes landed on a thick tree branch. He could not help but frown a little as he glanced at the human figures rushing into Mysterious Spirit Mountain like a swarm of locusts. Such a large-scale entry into Mysterious Spirit Mountain would definitely disturb the demonic beasts within it. Nothing we can do about it. The life Mysterious Spirit Fruit is too tempting, especially for those at the 9 Yuan Nirvana stage. One would be able to save on an endless amount of bitter training if one obtains it. Ji Yu Yang said. Many Ji Yu clan members had come to the foot of the mountain, however, not all of them entered Mysterious Spirit Mountain. After all, it was a dangerous place. If one's strength did not reach a certain level, one would not be of much help even if they did enter. Instead, they would become a burden for the others. Hence, only a dozen of the stronger members followed Lin Dong and Ji Yu Yang in. There are many demonic beasts in Mysterious Spirit Mountain. Based on the information we have gathered, there are at least 8 which have the strength of the half-step into profound life stage. Moreover, there is a 3-headed devil dragon, which has reached the initial profound life stage, guarding the top of the mountain. Ji Yu Yang peered into the depths of Mysterious Spirit Mountain as she spoke with a somewhat solemn voice. 8 half-step into profound life stage, and 1 initial profound life stage. Lin Dong's eyes involuntarily hardened when he heard these words. The strength of the demonic beasts in this Mysterious Spirit Mountain really could not be underestimated. If it were not for the many experts who had been lured here, it would likely be impossible for Lin Dong's group to successfully obtain the life Mysterious Spirit Fruit. Those 8 half-step into profound life stage demonic beasts are guarding the various paths on Mysterious Spirit Mountain. Hopefully, we will not meet them. Otherwise, it will be a whole lot of trouble, Ji Yu Yang said. Beast roars and miserable cries had already sounded out from the distant mountain forests while her words faded. It was likely that the demonic beasts on this Mysterious Spirit Mountain had begun to attack. Let's go. Ji Yu Yang knitted her brow slightly upon hearing these noises. Without further ado, she waved her hand and took the lead to rush forward, while Lindong and the others quickly followed behind her. The piece of mysterious spirit mountain collapsed as the large group barbarically charged into the mountains, as angry beast roars reverberated throughout the mountain. Soon after, loud bangs from clashing energy also rang out. A faint bloody stench spread over the entire large mountain at this moment. Lindong's group also encountered various forms of attacks from many demonic beasts along the way. However, their lineup was quite strong, and they did not suffer too much damage or trouble because of these attacks. However, their advancing speed had been slowed a little due to this. Roar! A large ape-like demonic beast suddenly roared as it landed from the air. Its unusually sharp claw immediately slashed at a member of the GU clan, who had just defeated a demonic beast. Bang! However, before its attack could land, an extremely violent green light swept out. A fist smashed into its large body, producing a low and deep sound. This demonic beast flew 100 meters backwards like a kite with a broken string, and landed miserably in the forest. No one knew whether it was dead or alive. That rescued member of the GU clan watched the demon ape fly backwards and sighed in relief. After which, he threw a grateful look towards Lindong, who had aided him. Lindong took a quick look of his surroundings. The horde of demonic beasts, that had launched a sneak attack at them, had already been finished off. They could see a group to their east being entangled by a horde of demonic beasts. However, this group was clearly not as relaxed as Lindong's group. Some miserable cries would occasionally be heard from them. Move! Although those unfortunate people seemed to be unable to endure any longer, Lindong did not have any intentions of intervening. Now was not the time to be a Samaritan. They were all competitors. These people might not hesitate to kill them later on. Hence, spending the time to rescue potential enemies was clearly extremely foolish. Ji Yu Yang and the rest nodded after hearing Lindong's low shout. Their bodies moved, and charged out of the mountain forest that contained a poison miasma. Hot sunlight immediately scattered down from the sky when they charged out from the forest. The poison that had contaminated everyone's bodies immediately dissipated. After experiencing a tough battle, the members of the GU clan involuntarily sighed in relief as the warm sunlight bathed their bodies. However, they had only just relaxed, when Lindong's stern cry suddenly sounded like thunder beside their ears. Careful! Bang bang bang! The land violently trembled after Lindong's cry sounded. Soon after, many incomparably sharp stone pillars with a chilling glint at their tips, suddenly tore out from the ground and shot explosively towards the members of the GU clan with lightning speed. Lindong was in mid-air as he watched this sudden attack. His eyes turned slightly cold as he suddenly threw a punch down. A green light curtain swept down from his fist. After which, it heavily smashed onto those sharp rock pillars which had pierced out from the ground. Crack crack! Those rock pillars immediately crumbled when the two forces clashed. Many cracks spread outwards, as they were completely blasted into dust. Those members of the GU clan landed on the ground with some lingering fear after the stone pillars were blasted apart. Their eyes held some respect as they looked at Lindong in the air. The latter's reaction was really admirable. Many thanks. Ji Yu Yang also sighed in relief. With her strength, she was naturally able to dodge the sudden attack earlier. However, she would not have the time to rescue the others. Lindong shook his head. His eyes looked to the front as he frowned and said, "Looks like we are rather unlucky." Ji Yu Yang also cast her gaze to the front. After which, she saw a ferocious dozen-feet large rock beast in the distance. Its body was completely covered by rocks and it was staring at them in an ominous manner. It's the rock demon beast, one of the 8 half-step into profound life-stage demonic beasts on Mysterious Spirit Mountain. Ji Yu Yang also clenched her fist at this moment. Her face was rather grim. Shall we attack together and swiftly finish it off? Ji Yu Yang looked at Lindong. Time was of the essence at this moment. If they were delayed, someone else might reach the depths of Mysterious Spirit Mountain before the rest and obtain the life Mysterious Spirit Fruit. Lindong also knew that time was very precious. Hence, he nodded after some thought. His expression suddenly sunk as his gaze suddenly looked towards the northwestern direction. A low and deep ruthless beast roar had been emitted from there. "Everyone be careful," Ji Yu Yang immediately warned after having also sensed it. Rumble. Her words had just sounded, when an enormous tree in far-off mountain forest suddenly collapsed. Subsequently, two enormous demonic beasts with vicious auras once again appeared in the sights of Lin Dong's group. The expressions of all the members of the Ji Yu clan changed when they saw these two enormous demonic beasts. This was because they could sense that these two demonic beasts were also at the half-step into profound life stage. Damn it, the Black Dragon pirates are intentionally luring the demonic beasts over. A sharp-eyed member of the Ji Yu clan suddenly saw two figures running in front of those two demonic beasts. These two were heading in their direction. Ji Yu Yang's expression quickly turned ice-cold as she frowned. These people were really cunning. They were actually using such a method to delay her group. Ha ha, your Ji Yu clan is powerful. I believe that it should not be a problem dealing with three demonic beasts at the half-step into profound life stage, hence, we will leave them in your hands. A man with a sinister-looking scar on his face laughed in a wild and arrogant manner towards Lin Dong's group. His eyes quickly turned cold as he swung his sleeve. A bottle of red liquid quickly flew out, after which, it exploded above the members of the Ji Yu clan. The liquid sprinkled downwards, and some of the members of the Ji Yu clan, who were unable to dodge in time, were dyed by the red liquid. Immediately, a nauseating bloody scent was emitted. Raw? The three half-step into profound life-stage demonic beasts' originally scarlet-red beast eyes immediately turned even redder when this scent was emitted. Ha ha, you should all enjoy this great meal. The life mysterious spirit fruit belongs to our Black Dragon pirates. The two commanders of the Black Dragon pirates once again laughed heartily. Their bodies quickly drifted backwards, while the three demonic beasts began to advance towards the Ji Yu clan group. What should we do? If we get entangled with these three demonic beasts, Ji Yu Yang knitted her brows. With her strength, she was at the very most able to stop one of them. However, the remaining two. Leave the other two to me. Lin Dong by the side gently exhaled and slowly said while Ji Yu Yang was hesitating. This video will end here.